Wings Castle is a one-man live-in art project that took the course of 47 years to complete. We have 4 bedrooms, a living room, kitchen, and it overlooks a 50-mile view of the Hudson Valley. Hi, I'm Tony Wing, owner of Wings Castle. A stay at Wings Castle versus a stay at a motel or a hotel. You know, it's all in what we experience, I guess, in life. We are definitely not cookie cutter. The inspiration for the castle started when Peter and I were dating. He brought me up to this beautiful site, which was part of the old Wing family farm. And he just looked at me and said, "I'm going to build a castle right here. Will you marry me?" I was like, definitely. You know, we were 23 years old. Suddenly the castle was done, but we were 45. And we didn't work full-time jobs. We had no savings. We had no pension plans like most of our contemporaries. You know, he had never built anything in his life prior to the castle. He had never done any masonry or carpentry, and he had no formal training in art or architecture. He would sketch the pictures every day, come out to me and say, "Well, this is what we're doing today." By the end of the day, it looked just like the sketch. You know, so you'd never argue the point because every sketch looked exactly like what he produced. He was an artist. He wasn't a mason or a carpenter. He had a vision. He was going to learn how to do whatever he had to do to put it there. And he also had the vision to know that he wanted it to look like it was there for centuries. I would say most of our guests go and visit the winery, which is another beautiful venue and was actually built on the original Wing family farm. So the old dairy barn is now the Millbrook winery.
When people come into Millbrook Vineyard Winery, their experience starts off with driving up through a vineyard, which to start a lot of people don't have. From there, you park amongst the vines. You get to see the different varietals growing in front of you, from Chardonnay to Cabernet Franc to Pinot Noir. You come into this old, nearly 150-year-old dairy barn, and you walk into this cellar-esque but elegant tasting room. You're greeted by a house wine expert. You get given an option of your tasting, and then you choose amongst yourselves what wines you want to try. Having Wings Castle as a neighbor is really awesome because we get to point up the road, we get to point up the hill and say, if you don't know, Dutchess County is kind of a fairy tale because we do have a castle overlooking our vineyard, and people love that. What's really cool about having people come down from the castle is that they get to see the vineyard from a different view. And they always tell us, "Oh, this looks so nice, so great." So it's fun to get that little insight from the guests at the castle.
Well, the dungeon room is one of our bedrooms, one of our very popular ones, because I think people like to say, well, we went to a castle and stayed in a dungeon, you know. It is, of course, it has all the modern amenities. You have radiant heat in the floors, you have air conditioning for the summer, your own private bathroom, a coffee station, refrigerator, so you're very comfortable in the dungeon. But when you step into it, you really feel like you're in an old castle. The guests often comment on this being more of an experience, like something they've never done before. It's very quiet, it's very peaceful. There are so many different areas you can wander to and just sit and enjoy. Everything is detailed, everything is, in many cases, people say, I feel like I'm in Europe, you know. So it's got its uniqueness for everybody in their own way, I'm sure. We all interpret things so differently, but people do refer to it as an experience more than a stay. Even though Peter had a fatal car accident, he's so ever-present here. He left an amazing legacy, so carrying it on gives me great pleasure. Wings Castle is important because it is an inspiration to people. People can see here that if you set your mind to something and you really want it, you can pursue it. You know, it's not necessarily easy, you know, and you have to be willing to work for what you want. But it's a unique, creative, inspiring accomplishment for one man to have really persevered over 44 years of his life and done something like this.